afternoon. It's tiring, isn't it? Feels like it's just one thing after the other. So I think as Brits, we really feel like not only are Indigenous Brits being kind of sidelined, to put it politely, our culture is being sidelined. The other thing that used to be, still is, but always revered in this country was our great, beautiful British countryside. Green and pleasant. Land of hope and glory. And yet it feels like we are continually under the guise of net zero, which is supposed to be about being green and protecting nature, loving nature, being clean and preserving what is around us, making things healthier, looking after wildlife, etc. But it feels like net zero is the complete opposite. And recently, a community near here had a huge fight on their hands to stop an area that was linked to battles of the Roundheads, linked to the Brontes, of outstanding beauty, full of a rich diversity of flora and fauna and protected species and water voles and owls and you name it, from being bulldozed and cemented over for large expensive houses. Anyway, that community, thank God, was very successful, and they've managed to club together enough money to buy the land to preserve it and preserve that wildlife. It now seems there's another community not far from me that I know very well, which is a little tiny village called Scotton. And what it is known for, apart from being small, rural, beautiful little stone cottages, windy, windy roads, and covered by surrounding beautiful green fields, is the fact it was home to Guy Fawkes, and one of his old homes is still there. And now there are plans for, I've written it down, so 60,000 solar panels. 60,000, and there is so much research about these Chinese bought non-recyclable pieces of metal that corrode and destroy the land beneath it, kill bees and birds and butterflies in great numbers because they mistakenly find the solar panels as water and land on them and electrocute themselves and fry themselves to death. And these things break in gales, hailstorms, and need to go into landfill, stop us producing lovely, healthy food. They're also looking at 3 battery farms with the ability, if anything went wrong, to kill within 9 kilometres and further if there was wind present, you know, if there was a fire, an explosion, etc. Not akin to things that we haven't seen as of late, similar things going wrong with batteries and electricals. And this gas could turn into an acid which burns your lungs, turns it to mush, and goes into the water and would kill all, going right down to the Ouse towards York in the river. Why is everything to do with net zero about metal, mostly lining China's pockets where we purchase it from, made mostly with slave labour, but mostly net zero seems to be against wildlife, nature, countryside, beauty, all things natural. And we are going to be just a land of metal and death, where insects and flowers and wildlife, birds, bees, you name it, rabbits, hedgehogs, all the things that have made Britain the place it used to be, will just either have to escape or they'll be killed. And No other countries seem to be doing this, and they're always choosing areas of outstanding beauty. Why aren't these things going, like solar panels, going into industrial areas, onto factory roofs, council buildings? Why aren't these big battery units going to industrial areas? Why are you choosing a medieval kind of village, if it's medieval, and plastering it with all of this metal and potentially dangerous buildings? And again, the amount of battery storage you're going to need, like I saw the other day an article on the largest one in the world, and it still only powers something for 15 minutes. The whole concept is a farce. A very, very expensive anti-nature, anti-wildlife, anti-beauty, anti-life farce. And it's all been done at our expense, literally. Net zero is destroying everything from our energy security, food security, our beautiful, wonderful farmers who are the spine of this country, the green and pleasant land that we've sung about for centuries. And it's not providing great sources of energy. It's very infrequent, very unreliable. And as we've said, all these things are generally coming from China, who is building coal stations every other week to be able to create all of this crap that we're buying like the utter mugs that we are. Nobody else is doing this. It's an outrage to consider putting 60,000 solar panels around this beautiful little village and all these battery plants that are at great risk to the nearby populations. Net zero is costing us a fortune. It is costing us money we do not have. And it is costing us our biodiversity, beauty and wildlife like it's never been under threat before. And this is all because people have pushed the concept that CO2 is bad. CO2, that is 0.04% of the atmosphere. Man creates 3%, the rest are oceans, volcanic eruptions. And the UK is less than 0.8% of that 3%. Of the 0.4%, and CO2's never been proven in history to affect the climate, ever. It just sometimes follows a trend in an upward increase in temperatures. And as I said, that to me just makes me think it's Mother Nature's way of greening the planet, providing more food and shelter in hotter times. We just need to stop this emperor's clothes charade. It is literally insane. We need to just open up our coal, open up our gas, and just get back to normal. Everything could go back to normal next week if we had the right leaders like Trump. We really need to protect this little island. It seems like it's being attacked from all angles. And the little bit of joy we get from the beauty around us is being rapidly eaten and destroyed in the name of net zero.